What discourages students? What motivates students? What are students looking for in their teachers? Well, if you want to know the answer to these, the best way to find out is to ask our students. In this video, I interview 3 of my students, Cassie, Aiden, and Tatiana, to find out their perspective on what makes a good class. If this is the first time we're meeting, my name is Gabriel Vigil. I've been teaching in Southern California for 18 years. My goal on this channel is to create a channel where we can come together to share stories, to be a support for each other, and to share strategies. If this is the first time we're meeting, please go ahead and click the subscribe button and enjoy the video. Please introduce yourself. We'll start with you.
Okay, I'm Cassie King, 8th grade student of the amazing Mr. Vico.
Okay, don't butter me up. Go ahead.
I'm Aiden Estrada, and I'm Mr. Vigil's student.
I'm Tatiana Sierra, and I'm in 8th grade.
So as an old person, we think we know what you guys want and what works and doesn't work and everything else, but I thought I'd give you a chance to actually voice your opinion so you can tell us, what students are actually looking for. So here's my first question is, what motivates you, and more importantly, what discourages you? Whoever wants to start.
So, the main thing that, motivates me is, when the teacher's, constantly having, positive energy. They're not okay, sit down and do this. Just, have, positive energy. Be positive about it. Have fun. Laugh and talk and just, be chill. But, if it comes to it, be, strict. But only if it comes to it. Don't be strict all the time. And the thing that discourages me the most is when it's constant work, nothing fun.
Thank you. Who's next?
The one thing that encourages me is I want to, in the future, try to have a good job because at some point in time I'm going to try to move out in San Francisco Bay Area. So I want to try to have a good job. So what encourages me is I want to work hard. Just work hard and try to get good grades right now. Because at some point in time, that's going to pay off. And what discourages me is teachers being so rude. Like some teachers, I don't think they realize it, but sometimes they can come off as really rude.
What would be an example of rude? 'Cause I'm trying to think of rude.
There's times where I'm trying to talk, but the teacher interrupts me. I'm trying to talk, but the teacher interrupts me. I'm not talking to the student. I'm talking out loud, and then someone will all of a sudden interrupt me. She will interrupt me, and that will be that's very rude to me because it's I'm trying to speak, I'm trying to give my opinion right now, but you just interrupted me, and that isn't fun.
All right.
Just you wouldn't want me to interrupt you, I don't want to be interrupted as well.
So I'm gonna come back to that in a second here. Tatiana, how about you?
I want to be scouted by a really good college for soccer. So.
Oh, okay. So you want to do good in school, so you get scouted for soccer.
Yeah, because you have to have the grades before you have obviously I have the skills, but I still need the grades for it too.
So then here's my question. So what motivates you? Is it mainly things that happen in the class or things outside of class that motivate you?
In class and outside class. I like the energy inside of third period with you because you're giving off so much good energy that makes me super happy to be in this class.
Well, also I can kind of add on to that because you know how the picture you showed us about what's his name, Andrew Jackson, where they have the emperor kind of thing, so where he acts like a king. Some teachers act like they're
like a tyrant.
Yeah, they're entitled to they rule it, and we're just peasants or whatever. Some teachers do.
All right.
I'm not saying you do. You're
great.
You're great.
Don't try it. How about you, Miss Kay? So for you, it sounds like for you, more motivation comes from inside or outside, or am I right in that? Or
Yeah. So basically, it's there's things that could be going on outside of the classroom and possibly outside of school that could just potentially just bring you down. And being able to walk into a classroom and have a very positive teacher who is understanding and everything like that, it makes things a lot easier. It makes the work easier to get done because you don't feel pressured. You don't feel as though like you need to get this done now, and if you don't get it done now, then you're going to be pressured for it later, and it's going to be really, really stressful. If you have a positive teacher, it's not going to feel like that, because you feel like, as someone like me, like I hate asking for help because like it makes me feel stupid. It's just my thing. I hate asking for help. So I'm just like, half the time in like my classes, I'm just, well, not half the time, like sometimes I'm just like sitting in my classes and I'm confused, but I don't want to ask for help because I feel stupid, and I don't know, it's just an overthinking thing, I guess. But it's just being able to be comfortable with a teacher who's really, really positive makes it easier to want to ask for help.
You want to say something?
I'm exactly like that. I don't like to ask for help, but the main reason I don't want to ask for help is because when I ask for help, it makes me sound, because people have like this generalization that I'm smart, that I'm like the smartest in the classroom. But when they do that to me, it doesn't make me feel smart, because when they're doing that, it just puts more pressure on me. Like, you're the smartest, can you help me? Or like, hey, you're smart, can you help me with this? And I'm like, sure. I don't know what I'm doing, because even when I ask for help, it's just I don't understand it, so I just say, what's the point in me asking for help?
Yeah.
Because I won't understand it, because I have a hard time focusing in the long run.
Okay. So I know for us teachers, what we're taught that they give us this whole thing about, what impacts students the most to their learning. Because the whole idea of teaching is you want to focus on the learning, right? That's, I guess, what it's all about. A lot more to it than that, but that's the idea. And they always show us that the thing that impacts students' learning the most is the teacher. Not things such as what's going on at home, not things as how big the class is or how small the class is, but the teacher itself. Do you agree with that or disagree with that? And if so, what would you look for in a teacher? You kind of gave us an idea already, but do you agree with that or disagree that that's probably the most important thing for you to learning, or do you think other things play a bigger part?
When you're at home, it definitely impacts you, because something could be happening like in your house, and you'll feel really bad, or like something discourages you at home, so you don't want to learn that day, so you're just trying not to listen. And it also has to do with your house, like how you live, like the way your parents are. Like if your parents are rude or mean, you end up inheriting that from them. And then you start to do that to other people.
Not so much though, because like the way that I grew up, like I didn't grow up the way that most people should. Like I had a very rough childhood, like very, very rough. Like wasn't the best. Like we were moving around all the time. My parents fought. They split up for a while. It was just really, really bad. But like I didn't inherit all that from my parents.
Some people do, some people don't.
It
Some
just
people are different.
It depends on who you are, but the way that you like put it in that sentence made it seem like it happens to everybody.
No,
like
it doesn't
every
happen
single
to
person
everyone. It happens to
inherits it.
certain people.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I do believe that like the way that you are, like the way that things are at home and like the way things happen like in your personal life does affect the way that you are in school. Because I don't know about you, but like sometimes like you could just have like a really, really bad morning, or just the night before was really, really bad, and like it still affects you. And it's something like so drastic to the point to where like it's not something that you can just put on a brave face for, that it just shows no matter how hard you try. And if that were to like, it's obvious, like if that were to happen, then it's obviously going to affect you.
Yeah.
And for students, it'll affect the way that we would like act and how we feel, and that would most likely like cause us like trouble for like learning and wanting to learn and being able to focus and sit in a classroom without getting irritated or like feeling anything other than just like calm or neutral. And for teachers, it could be hard as well.
Yeah, you're right. I definitely agree with you on that one.
It also depends on the teacher and how they act most of the time. Like I said, teachers can be rude. With teachers like you or Mr. Mitchell,
Bro,
are
they're
like
both goated.
What's that, Tatiana?
You guys are both goated. You guys actually listen. Like some teachers, they don't listen. They just.
I think one example of a teacher not listening.
No, don't give names out now.
I'm not
Okay.
not gonna
Wait, we
name a
can't say
teacher.
names?
I'm not gonna say
There you go.
teachers. I'm not
Nothing
gonna say a
for
teacher name.
negative.
I'm just saying that there's certain teachers, of whom I will not say,
Yeah.
are, how can I say it? discourages you a bit. Like some teachers like can discourage you.
Ms. Crespo told me that the teachers don't care if well, this is a question for you. Told me that the teachers don't care if we don't like you guys or not. Is this true?
We're human. We do care. Of course we care.
Ms. Crespo lied.
We care. But here's the thing for teachers. Here's the hard part is in a class, you have all sorts of students. I mean, all sorts of students. You have students that, and I think you three are probably in this part here, that regardless of the teacher, I would say that you guys probably would do good in school.
We're just good like that.
I'm just.
So
I
then
try to do as best as I could because
Yeah.
I'm home.
So, I mean, as a teacher, if you guys can do good no matter what, does it really make a difference what teacher you have?
Sometimes,
Definitely.
yeah.
Yeah.
Even if you're good, teachers can still discourage you, and at some point, you can
It definitely still
start.
matters.
It can stunt you. It can like stunt you because.
I like that word stunt. Yeah, go ahead.
I
Tatiana.
don't feel like I don't feel discouraged. I just feel like, you know, sometimes I get annoyed, you know.
Annoyed?
Yeah,
By
like,
teachers.
If I have like, see you and the other history teaching, you guys are both cool, but like if I didn't have you guys and like let's just say there's a mean teacher, then I probably would get annoyed and wouldn't do as my best, you know.
All right. So it sounds like if you're going to do good anyways, a good teacher would help you push you to that little extra bit.
Yeah.
They wouldn't necessarily bring you down all the way, but when there's, okay. But then as a teacher, like, the question is, do we really care? Yeah, we definitely care. But we know that, you know, students will just say things just because, you know, because it's, you guys are in middle school, right? I mean, come on.
Yeah.
You know, we remember how it was in middle school and how we were, so. All right.
Yeah.
You want to say something? Go ahead.
Yeah. So like my normal teachers, they're great. I like them all and everything. But the thing that I kind of dislike is when we have a sub,
Because the
because
subs don't know what they're doing in our classroom.
that's not necessarily it. But I remember, like, this is something that I'm definitely gonna remember because it was just something really, really negative. One of the subs that was substituting for my class, I was trying to help one of my friends out, Eileen, the one behind the camera, and I was trying to help her out, and the substitute was all just like, get back to your seat, and I was like, okay, hold on, I'm almost done, like, just like another second. And then he dead names me and gives me a whole bunch of attitude and is just really rude and tells me to go back to my seat, and he does this in front of everybody.
What's the name?
Dead name is calling someone by the name that they don't. Go.
Okay, gotcha.
And so it's considered extremely disrespectful. And when I was just trying to help someone out, and when I told him to give me just 1 single second because I was just about done explaining, and he does this, and he just gives me a whole bunch of attitude, and he's like rude.
Yeah.
Not something I deserve when I'm just trying to help out. And it's completely just messed up. And it's unfair, and it's something that I don't deserve.
Good point. Good point. I know substituting, I don't substitute anymore because obviously I teach, but I cover classes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's amazing when I cover a class, same guy, I'm the same guy, and I cover a class, I cover a 6th grade class once in a while. And it's like starting over like a brand new teacher. And I know what you're saying, right? But take it from the teacher point of view, man, could you imagine? Imagine now, you're going to a classroom, you've never seen the students before, 30 students, you know how students could be, and your job is to make sure that they're doing what they're supposed to do. That's a hard thing to pull off. And so, do you guys ever think about that stuff when teachers, like substitutes come to your classroom, where you're like, nah, this person's just a jerk? Or do you think, man, they gotta have it really rough?
With this
Not
sub,
bro, Mr. H is goaded.
the thing is with the sub that I'm talking about, he's known me since 6th grade.
So he has a reputation with you then?
Yeah, he has a
Okay.
reputation with me. He's known me since 6th grade. For a while, he was a substitute for Miss Ojeda, my math and
Okay.
science teacher in 6th grade. And he's known me for a while. And, like, I'll say hi to him in the halls, and then he'll say hi back to me because he knows me. We know each other. We have, like, a reputation. And so, like, the way that I asked him, like, to give me a second is the same way I'm talking to you. I was like, hey, give me a second. I'm helping someone out. And he did it anyway. And so
Okay.
there's really no way to...
That makes sense, because he understood who you were and everything else. Okay, so I can see that. Aiden?
I do think that the sub has it hard, but there's times where the sub can act irrational sometimes.
Yeah.
Like they can act like very irrational when they're like they've done this before, but they still act really irrational in some points of the class.
And I assume they come off rude, right?
They come off rude,
And
which sort of discourages me.
makes sense because you're trying to do what you can in class. And
I'm trying to help someone, and I'm
Makes
trying
sense.
to do my work while also helping them, but then they're like, you need to mind. And I'm like, I'm helping a friend here. They really need help. Like, they haven't been here for like the past like a week, so I'm trying to help them, trying to cover them on what they missed.
Exactly. Like,
But it's like
at least they're the best
they
at
never
math, so.
listen to us. They never listen to us because we're kids.
Thank you for watching the video. Hopefully it was very insightful. I will put the link here for part 2 of the video. And remember, together we can make our lemon days into lemonade weeks. Stay zesty.